If I find my way home, yeah. Hey, wouldn't it be crazy?
Luke, just to begin with the start of the game, that run the Minnesota went on, what did you see and how did you think that impacted the rest of the evening?
Well, I thought offensively our guys were trying to play the right way. We just, we weren't making shots. But defensively, it's unacceptable that we let that many points be. And that's the second game in a row a team has came in the first quarter and just scored at will on us. And it didn't seem like we engaged ourselves in the fight until we got to the second unit. And I thought the same thing happened again tonight, where the second unit did a really nice job of scrapping and fighting. So we gotta get better. We gotta figure that out. Otherwise, it's gonna be really hard if you start every game, down double digits, and you're trying to scratch and crawl your way back into a game.
Without some of your typical leaders, what have you seen from Brandon and Lonzo in that starting lineup over these last couple of games?
They're trying, but they're young. But at some point, we just we need more passion. We need more fight, and that's not scoring more. That's more diving for loose balls. Communicating loudly, grabbing. Brandon had some really nice crackback rebounds tonight that we can get out and run. Need that all the time from him. So it just, it's not just them, but it's, until we get healthy again, you gotta play in this league with some passion and fire to win. It's hard to win in this league when you are healthy. So you got to give double that effort when guys are down.
Obviously started with the two bigs and then went back to it with Tyson and JaVale. What were you hoping to get out of those lineups?
Well, just this team, they destroy people on the glass. They're physical. I was watching their last Charlotte game, and Charlotte had a big lead, and all of a sudden they just started, beating them up on the glass. Our first game that we played here, they beat us up on the glass. So with Kuz out, Josh Hart, we've started him at some 4 before, but we just wanted to, we wanted to be big and be able to physically hold our own on that end, but we weren't able to score the ball. So, we did a all right job rebounding, but I guess they weren't missing much either. So that's not a fair stat to look at.
Lakers lose their third straight game. They fall to Minnesota. They've now lost 7 in a row at Minnesota. They're 1-5 since the Christmas Day win over the Warriors. And like the Knicks game, guys, you have to look at that first quarter. We usually focus a lot on the end of the game. But those first quarters, back-to-back games, the Lakers have fallen behind very big and never been able to get back. This time, remember, the Knicks hit 7 threes. Minnesota came out and hit 6 threes in that first quarter, got up by 17-19, and Lakers couldn't dig themselves out of that hole, James.
Yeah, you have to know, and I'm absolutely sure that the coaching staff is making aware that you have to come out of the blocks, Geeter, with a lot of attention to detail, okay? We talked about it in pregame. Rob made a point. You better run them off the 3. You have to run them off the 3. You can't go under picks when you have shooters who are shooting the 3. So, just a mental lapse, I would have to say, at the beginning of the game that cost them to get in that deficit that they're not experienced enough to be able to afford to have that type of start. I look at the plus-minus for Minnesota's starters. They all were in the positive. The Lakers plus-minus, they were all in the negative. That's effort. That's not paying attention to the details. So if you're young, that's one thing. But you have to be able to have a good start. You have to be able to take away things that you can take away. That's capable of taking away the 3. There's certain things you can take away and make more difficult when you're missing key players that they just don't seem to be able to grasp that.
It's funny how James and I think a lot. I was looking at the plus-minus too, and I'm like, wow, the lowest guy was minus 17. Everybody was 28 points, and you can't have that. That boils down to energy and effort, and also I would kind of I'm not going to give them a little leeway, but I'm going to give them some because that lineup they started was a lineup they haven't started before. You know, you went with the Twin Towers and Zubox and Mr. McGee, so it was kind of crazy there. So it kind of threw the offense.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming on a lineup like that, you should have fed Zubox. You should have went inside, see what you could get there.
He got fouled.
Yeah.
Missed one free throw. Made
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
So he could have did a lot of that nature, but it was a lot of one-on-one. But now you got to understand, you're going one-on-one, and you got these two bigs that are in your way. So you can't really do that in that sense. So.